Have you ever wondered how victims prove human rights violations when governments deny everything? In many cases, there are no cameras, no records, and sometimes no witnesses left to speak. So how does justice still find its way? My name is Topiko Shaburishvili. I'm a human rights expert and a lawyer with 6 years of experience in court litigation. I'm giving you tools to protect yourself from human rights violations and to understand how international law really works. Today, I will explain what kind of evidence matters most in human rights law and how it's used to prove the truth, even when states try to hide it. Human rights law is not like criminal law. Its purpose is not to punish an individual, but to hold a state accountable for violating somebody's rights. Because of that, human rights courts like the European Court of Human Rights use more flexible rules of evidence. They care less about formalities and more about credibility, reliability, and consistency. They look for evidence that tells a truthful, coherent story, even if it's not perfect or complete. The five most important types of evidence is first, document evidence. The strongest proof often comes from official papers like arrest records, government memos, or court orders. Those documents can directly show how the state acted or failed to act. Sometimes one simple document can expose an entire system of abuse. Second, witness and victim testimonials. When states deny responsibility, the voices of victims and witnesses become the heart of the case. Their stories help courts understand what happened behind closed doors. A consistent, detailed, and honest testimony can be powerful than anything else. Expert evidence. Doctors, psychologists, and digital analysts play a key role. For example, Istanbul Protocol guides experts to document sign of torture in a way that courts can verify. Experts translate pain and trauma into facts that the law can recognize. Fourth, pattern or contextual evidence. Human rights bodies often examine patterns, not just like isolated event or a case. Reports from UN bodies, NGOs, previous judgments can show that one violation is part of a systematic policy. This helps the courts see wider context of abuse. Fifth, digital and forensic evidence. In today's world, photos, videos, and satellite images can expose what governments try to hide. Metadata, GPS data, can confirm where and when atrocity took place. Digital proof is now one of the most powerful forms of evidence in human rights work. How human rights bodies evaluate the evidence. Unlike criminal courts, human rights courts don't require proof beyond reasonable doubt. They work with reasonable certainty, what is most likely true based on the evidence presented. Once the victim shows credible evidence, the burden of explanation shifts to the state. If a person disappears after being arrested, it's the government's duty, not the family's, to explain what happened. Why this matters? The goal of human rights law is not just to find the truth, but to protect people. Evidence is not just legal material, it's tools of empowerment. Every testimony, every report, every image that survives repression comes part of the struggle for justice and remembrance. So what is the most important evidence in human rights law? It's not just documents or photos, it's credibility and consistency. It's a combination of testimonies, documents, expert analysis, and digital proof that together reveals the truth. If you want to learn more about how to protect your rights and recognize violations before they happen, follow me for more or share with your friend who will need it to protect themselves from human rights violations. Thank you for watching.